It is time for another 5-minute review, and this time we were talking about Sony's XM5, or I think the full name is the W-1000XM5 wireless sound canceling headphones. I have been using these now sort of as my daily driver for the last 18 months. And while I am not an audiophile, I am a musician, have been a musician for about 20 years, still perform. I also am a parent that works from home with a toddler. So these get battle tested every single day. So in this review, here's what I'm gonna cover. I'm gonna talk about the competition. I have used Bose QC 45s now and the 35s. I have used the Beats Studio Pros. Have used the AirPods Max. They're kind of out of the price range for this, but I'll at least give you my quick notes and thoughts on that, since all those are sort of in the competition range for this. Then talk a bit about the main features of this device, battery life, build, things like that. Then we'll talk about some of the special features that Sony's done on these XM5s, a couple drawbacks, and then we will get to some final thoughts. I'm gonna refer to these as the XM5s throughout the rest of this review because the whole Sony, whatever, it's no need. So first up, let's talk the competition. I've used the Bose, the Beats, and these XM5s on flights. I've done about 20 flights this year. I did about 30 flights last year. And I've used these for both voice, like listening to podcasts and audiobooks, but also listening to music. And the short of it is for the competition is that I personally like the XM5s for both their sound profile and their sound canceling. I found with like the Beats, while I actually don't hate the sound profile, the sound canceling gives me a headache after about an hour. I do like the Bose, but they're just uncomfortable for me. I do like the sound sort of signature that they have, and the sound canceling works more than fine. I also put in for the AirPods Max here, which while those are a strong build quality device, you could get like 2 of these XM5s or like 2 sets of the Beats or Bose for the price of 1 AirPods Max. I just don't find it worth it. So there you go. So talking about the main features of the XM5s, the sound canceling is more than good enough. It's actually great, especially traveling and being on all these different flights, flying across the United States, Mexico, things like that. It's held up totally fine. Even sitting next to the wing, next to the jet engines, it knocks out sound no problem. Battery life is roughly about the true 40 hours that they say in the marketing, and I haven't had any problems with that. I'm typically using these headphones at about like 33 to 50% volume anyway, so that's been my particular experience. And the build quality is probably my favorite out of the Bose, Beats, and these Sony XM5s. I like just the fit and feel. I like this sort of like rounded feature to it. There's like not a lot of like flat lines to it. And it sits well on my head at least. One of the big selling features on these XM5s for me were that they could connect to 2 devices. So you can have this paired to say like a computer and also your phone. This is handy like if you're traveling especially and you don't want to be switching between devices. Now if you have both a Mac and an iPhone with like the Beats, you can do the automatic switching between the 2 devices. But if you have like a PC or you have an Android phone in the mix, it is kind of nice to have these because you can connect to a Windows computer, an Android device, an iPhone, a Mac, and very easily switch between the 2. Now, when it comes to drawbacks for these, I only had really 2 drawbacks for this particular device. The first one was that when I was using this connected to 2 devices, I think it was on the older version of Apple's Mac OS, I was getting some weird Bluetooth issues with my mouse and my keyboard while also having this paired to my Mac and paired to my iPhone. Unlike AirPods or Beats, these actually connect to both devices simultaneously and then try to listen to each device to figure out which one you're using versus like the AirPods, which truly connect to only one device at a time. That seems to have been fixed with the latest release of Mac OS that came out now in 2023. So that hopefully won't be an issue for you. It's no longer an issue for me, but I figured I'd put that out there. You can also easily solve that by turning off the feature to connect to 2 devices, which is then negating, I think, one of the cooler features about these, but they will still work. And the second thing that I noticed is that with the travel case being like this thin, flat thing that Sony gives you with the headphones, instead of folding these up, I guess into like a ball almost, you twist these cups down and then place them into the case. I think what ended up happening was I placed these face down on the table and the padding sort of got like worn in from just laying there for like a day or 2. That seemed a little rough and weird. I don't know. They're still comfy. They're still fine. They still make a great seal. but the padding just seems like a little deflated ever since that happened. I do appreciate this case over the XM4s. That was a big deal for some people, that this case was like bigger as far as like width and height goes, but it has less depth. And I actually like that because it seemed easier to fit like into my bag as like just this flat thing that could slot in somewhere versus this like more bulbous thing. And it also has this little lanyard loop that if you want to attach it to the exterior of a bag, you can. I guess that's not technically a drawback. That's like a good segue into my final thoughts. First of all, if you don't have headphones that charge over USB-C, the XM5s have USB-C, and that I think makes them a very attractive deal, though now the Beats and the QC45s have that as well. So figure it out. I think the AirPods Max are still using Lightning though. Oof. Yeah, wouldn't want that. There is an auxiliary port in case you do want to connect this over a 35mm jack. I've done that a few times. It works. Overall though, the Sony XM5s have been my go-to. I think just with that combination of sound canceling that doesn't annoy me, a sound profile that to me at least sounds good and I enjoy both for voice and also for music. Solid battery life, very fast charging. I don't think you can go wrong with the Sonys. If you do a lot of traveling, do a lot of work from home, anything in between, yeah, the XM5s have my vote. Year and a half in and these things are still kicking. Hopefully I can get several more years out of these. I plan on it actually. So good job Sony. Let me know if you end up picking up the XM5s or if you end up going with the Beats or the Bose, AirPods Max, any other type of over the ear wireless sound canceling headphone. Leave it down in the comments below so I could know why you chose either the Sonys or something different. With that, to everyone who has subscribed to this channel, thank you so much. And if you haven't, go hit the button, make it happen. We do tech, photography, some writing stuff. This channel is just about me enjoying life. Come enjoy life with, hang out, have a good time. Be kind both in life and in the comments below. Like this video to send good vibes. All right, we'll do it again soon. Later.